This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, back with some Brawl action. Been enjoying Brawl, continuing to try to spike up the Brawl queue when and where I can, and this one is a fun one. Today we are doing Koma, the Cosmos Serpent, a Brawl killing machine as our commander. Yes, it's 7 mana. Yes, it's really hard to kill. The inevitability that this commander creates is impressive, and it doesn't require a ton of synergy around it. You don't need a bunch of serpents. You don't need a bunch of counter spells. You just need to let Koma do its thing. So we want to play a lot of ramp spells to cast Koma early, and we do want to play interaction to keep our opponent from enacting some kind of a game plan before we can enact ours. Something like the Prismatic Bridge. Getting a Koma is much harder for Koma to beat. So we do want to run counter spells, mostly to get us to the Koma, try to intercept their commander with a counter, then slam our commander because we ramped up a good amount, and we're usually in a good position to win the game. So the deck is just a lot of ramp spells and a lot of counter spells, quite frankly. I had it divided up, then I closed the window and I got lazy. But in a nutshell, you can divide everything here up into like a counter or a bounce spell or a ramp spell. The deck plays out in a lot of similar ways, and it looks really obvious. Oh, I just ramp Koma, kind of like good old ramp Gyruda. But the truth is, what you mostly want to do is ramp. You have to size up the opponent's commander. All right, if they're playing the Prismatic Bridge, then what you have to do is make sure that you are ramping, but on the turn when they would play the Prismatic Bridge, you have a counter spell, or you have a bounce spell to put it back and then have a counter spell for the next turn. And then you time your ramp around it. There are a lot of ramp cards like Skyclave Relic, Arcane Signet that can ramp, but the mana that you create is untapped. Uro is another one. Whereas with Omen of the Hunt, you tap 3 and you make a tapped land. So you're always trying to do it so that, like, if you have 4 mana available, you play the Arcane Signet, and then you still have like a Neutralize open at the end of that. So it's a balancing act. You're always trying to balance whether or not you need to counter something next turn or whether you can straight up ramp. So that eventually you get a Koma down, and remember that you can use Koma Serpents to tap the opponent's lands during their upkeep, which can sometimes take them off the play that they wanted for the next turn, such as slamming their own commander or big play. The rest of the deck isn't, just haymakers, just things to keep the opponent busy. Elder Gargaroth and Voracious Greatshark are cards that definitely make the opponent play the game a little differently. A Shark Typhoon is never something to sneeze at or scoff at, and Ugin the Spirit Dragon belongs in most Brawl decks in the current format, as long as they're not strictly aggro. So basically, you see what the deck is trying to do. You see where we're going. Once we start casting Koma, if we ever get a turn where we just get to untap, make another Serpent, and have a counter, the game is effectively over. It's an insanely powerful deck and should be one of the pillars of the format for sure. So I hope this list will help those of you who want to get into Brawl and want to play something like a Koma Cosmos Serpent. Today's video is dedicated to Alex Rolezi on Patreon. So thank you very much for signing up for the $9.99 Patreon tier, where I promise to shout you out in a video. This one is dedicated to you. I believe I still have the last Snowland that I need to craft. Wow, it's a mountain? Who would have seen that coming? Who would have seen a mountain being the last Snowland? It's not here. Oh, because of my commander's commander identity. I have to leave to craft it. I will craft the last mountain in your honor, but for right now, let me just say that let's dive in. You know what? No, we craft on screen. There are going to be people being like, but CGB, if we don't see it, how do we know you did it, CGB? How do we know? We're not trusting people. This is the internet. People lie to us. Everybody lied to us. You know what? I don't lie. I crafted that mountain. Thank you. And now let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. All right, Magda versus Koma. Big versus little. Let's be on the play. We are not on the play. Did everything wrong. This hand, though, It ramps fast. I assume they will ramp pretty fast as well. That is 2 mulligans. The first one is free, so this is a 6-card hand that they're looking at. No sleeves, that's why. When you buy the sleeves, your hands get 10% better. Okay. Whoa, no blue. I love the Tome of Legends. All right, we're fighting Ashiok. Ashiok is a control deck that's emerged kind of, I think, to put up a fight against Prismatic Bridge. But Koma can't be countered. So this is gonna get real. Like this is put on the big boy or girl pants. This is serious Brawl. Which is kind of, honestly, part of me releasing a few Brawl videos, aside from entertaining you, which is a priority, I hope it gets more people who are a little spikier minded, people like me, to play some Brawl, and gives them some good lists as starting points to play some competitive Brawl. Because I don't need it to be all like the Brawl meta being a thing, but I do want good lists out there. I want good, tough back and forth games, you know? So hopefully that will come of getting more lists out there, because since I started making the Brawl content, people tell me pretty often, like, oh, thank you. The hardest part for me about, like, I always wanted to play Brawl, but the hard part was building a deck. Like, I just didn't know where to start. It seemed like so much work, because you have to make so many choices to fill your deck with singleton cards. And now here's a list. It's mostly cards in standard. Go terrorize, you know? Good choice. The opponent helping me complete my monologue while tanking endlessly about whether or not to Maze Mine Tome. Cool. Let's unleash the power of the Gilded Goose. I think that it's better to play the tap land here instead of the Haven. The Haven we can play next turn and still hold up Disdainful Stroke or Jwari Disruption. Or we can say go and play Omen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana sources. Actually, we have enough, don't we? We can put this away. Because this can be a tapped land as well. Alrund's Epiphany into Koma might be a thing if we can find the time. Jeez, all the ramp. All right, what do we do? There's a lot of different ways to play this now. I don't think they want to tap out next turn, so this would be a good turn to deploy as much as we can. But we can hold up mana, which is interesting for sure. I think we go like this, and then after that, I'm not sure. There's a case for Foretell, but if we don't top an untapped land, then we can't cast Epiphany. We also can't really expect Epiphany to resolve. We could also Omen. The next turn we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could also Skyclave Relic and be in the same boat. We can also just make a food. And next turn we have Relic. Yeah, this is pretty good. Like next turn we can go Relic into Omen. And then the turn after that we can Koma. And this whole time we leave up counter spells. Okay, so that's something we could stroke. But I think this is safer. Somebody snickered when I said something we can stroke. I know you did. Don't think I don't pay attention to where my audience is. I hear you. It is a little off because now we have to draw land. But, I mean, Skyclave Relic still comes in untapped, holds up Omen and Stroke. Or we could slam a Gargaroth. I think this is the play. But missing that land drop is a big cost. It hurts. Would you like to scry with that tome? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Where's my tome? I want the tome. Ain't no book I like better than the good book of Tome. The 5-head tome. Book of the Brain. Slam that Ashiok. Alright. Who's the control deck? Alright, can we draw a land? Draw a land. One land. One time. I guess Neutralize is fine. It'll get the job done. Opponents kept me busy for 2 turns. Wait, they put Ashiok in the graveyard. Bro, that's your commander. Dawson's Creek, that's your commander. That commander should be over here. That's fine, I think. Oh, I see. You're going to exile it to this. Sure. All right. Big brain plays. What did they get from me? Gadwick doesn't... Gadwick can be a lot of cards. They got Murderous Rider, Ashiok, and the Oracle. I mean, you gotta exile the Ashiok, right? Yeah, there you go. And what did they take from me? The Gadwick. It's the only choice. Should have seen that coming. But those are both pretty expensive plays. All right. Let's mana up. It clicked. All right, there we go. Do we slam it? If we slam the Koma, here, some bad things could happen. Ashiok is pretty good against the Koma, and they do have it to cast. What if we play you? We don't have mana open to do the things. We only have 2 mana open. It's kind of amazing. I keep having trouble drawing the right cards. If we say go, they have to counter, they have to play one of those things. We could go for this, but if they counter it, then we're in huge trouble. So let's say go. We can be patient. Book of the Brain. We have very big, powerful spells. We can take our turn. Take our time. Take our turn. All those things. All right, you know they want to play one of those. Let's see which one it is. One thing that's interesting is we can use Sublime Epiphany to actually counter the draw trigger from Gadwick and bounce it to our hand. Our hand? That would be really fun. But we definitely need to get this Ashiok out of the equation before we Koma, or it just bounces the Koma. Heartless Act my goose. Weird. Does this mean they're not going to play one of these? Okay. Well, that's something that could have been a good answer to Koma. Kind of glad to see it gone. Yeah, they're just not going to put that Gadwick back in play. So what do? Can just cycle this. We can scry. That's pretty good. What do we need? We just need land, right? Beanstalk Giant's a land. Kind of. Doesn't hold up the Sublime Epiphany, though. Let's do it like this. Do you like control decks staring at each other? Maybe you'll enjoy my latest game of Magic the Gathering. Come to the CovertGoBlue channel, where we let the nonsense begin, as long as that nonsense involves overanalyzing situations and playing to every possible in and out of what the opponent may or may not have. Hopefully that's why you enjoy the content. Smile. All right, last chance. Are you gonna cast that Ashiok or leave it there forever? That's what I thought. Actually, no. We'll just do this. To command with you. What do you think? Are they going to answer the Koma? We could make burbs. How about we do this? We just keep moving ahead on land. We keep playing big things they have to deal with. And we prepare Koma for when they have counter magic open. When they don't have counter magic open, we play things that they can kill, forcing them to tap their mana and give up things that might have killed Koma. How to destroy control decks with someone who loves them. That's me. CGB. I love control decks. I also know how to slay them and make them miserable. Okay. That is a cute little Windwobble you got there. Pretty good answer, to be honest. Pretty good answer. Now they can counter it on the way back down. 8 cards in graveyard, so this can draw. What else you got? They've got mana open for a counter. Is this where we play Koma? If we say go, how do we take advantage of what happens on their turn? We don't really. Yeah, so I think this is where Koma comes on down. And now I have the mana to play Koma on back-to-back turns, if necessary, which can also tax the resources. But we don't want to play something that can be countered into open mana. And we already got their Heartless Act and their Unsummon. So how many answers do you have? Reign of Revelation, draw 3, discard 1. They need an upkeep answer. Oh, they have their own Serpent. That's exciting. Snakes versus snakes. Well, can you do it? The coil is here. Maybe I should put a stop down and tapped the swamp, but odds are they'll find another. They can Ashiok and bounce the Koma. That's one way to do it. All right. Okay, resolve. Now this is tricky. We're going to return it to our hand, but then we're going to exile it to command because we don't want to lose either of these. If we let it go to command there, we'd have to exile one of these. Now we get to Alrund's Epiphany. That will take care of the Ashiok. Send the coil after it. Opponent will block, draw a card. Probably. Nice draw. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are one short of playing Koma with Negate. And considering that we've created a good board, where we're very much ahead and they have to answer with less mana than we have, I think the play is the Gargaroth. Could also be the Giant, but Gargaroth's pretty darn good. A Negate this turn, a Sublime Epiphany that can copy the Gargaroth next turn. Oh. Oh yeah. When it wants a Shark Typhoon. Let's shut that down. Oh, they're sweet blue-black cards, man. I think they're getting back their Lockmere. That's why they're messing around the graveyard. Command Tower. No real reason to play the Koma, believe it or not. Card definitely did its job. Sublime Epiphany. It's expensive, and if the opponent has like removal and then a counter for the Epiphany, that's bad, but can probably do the job. Okay, they say go. They haven't given up. Into the Roil. Go to attacks. Keep the cards coming. Lockmere Serpent. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a whole bunch more. Sure. All right, we draw Ugin. Oh, I meant to pay the kicker. Why didn't it let me kick it? I must have picked the wrong side. I thought I did it, and I thought about hitting cancel, and then I looked and it actually said kicker, but that was just because of the card. -1 card for CGB. All right. Hold up Epiphany. Play something else. I'm a very boring player, I know. I know. Okay, this has reach. Because why wouldn't it? Opponent knows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. We have enough for that and Epiphany. That's gross. That's messed up. We've been playing around their counter spells all game. Let's see if they get to use one here. Cool. I counter you. I bounce you. I copy you. I'll draw. Oh, man. Epiphany on Epiphany action. Yep. Thanks. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Koma Coil. Oh yeah, heavy hitters indeed. Koma versus the Bridge. Gonna need some counters. I guess the Royal is like a counter against the Bridge. One of the reasons I play it. We're on the play. We have ramp. Let's go. Let's do the thing. Give ourselves a chance at Migration Path. Next turn. Could be exciting. We might also miss it. Come on, untap land off the top. Didn't get there. Tome, 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 tome. Didn't get there. Good cards, though. Definitely ready to compete with the bridge. Our opponent probably is going to play a mana rock here, or some kind of ramp. They don't have green yet. They do need it. Okay. Well, because we have the Into the Roil, if they play the bridge next turn, we can bounce it. So we can go ahead and cast this now. Fires. Ooh. Well, now bouncing it doesn't do as much good, does it? But that's your 2 spells for the turn. Okay. Yeah, bouncing it's not as good as it used to be, but they didn't get the bridge down that turn. They hit a wall. All right, we need more lands. Let's once upon a time for some land. Wow, almost missed. Relic. Don't need 3 for any reason. Let's inflict pain with our Tangled Florahedron. Can they play this twice? Maybe they can. Maybe they can. All right. Let's see if they play a land. I think they can play it again. Which then we have to roil it. Whoa! All right. We got a real gamer on our hands. It's gonna take an Ugin to settle this. Yes, you rang? God, could I have used an untapped land, though. Oh, we've got 8. We do have 8. And they can't play anything on our turn because of the fires. Uh-huh. Anything else? They foretell something. Anything else? You get one more spell, make it a good one. No! That would stop the Ugin. Oh my goodness. Heavyweight matchup indeed. Had to have the stroke there. Happened to have it. Pretty lucky. Pretty freaking lucky. Next turn our opponent can probably Allrun's Epiphany. And we didn't draw land to play this goose. All right, they're cycling Wilt. Don't Epiphany me, man. Let that be a Doomscar. Okay, ECD. That's a frustrating one. They do have a Vorinclex to get back, for goodness sakes. And how much is this now? 7? They're pretty close to playing it again. I guess we better get the Koma going. Is that the right play? I think so. Does it resolve? Do I has indestructibility? I do. All right, do I tap something of theirs so it can't be activated? I don't think so. 2 more to cast my spells. Got it. Chromatic Ori. That is something we can tap, but that is very powerful. They have like endless mana now. And they have a bridge. All right. Can we recover? I mean, are we even behind? We've got Koma. I don't know. We've got a Mega Shark Typhoon up our sleeve. Can we just kill them? Vorinclex is coming back. All right. Not lots of upkeep action to be had here, so let's put some stops around. I think what I want to do is cycle this Shark Typhoon for 1,000,000, but maybe I should draw a card first and just see if we can nail a counter spell, change my play. Wow. Wow. Okay. This is draw 5 cards, but they would have to commit to it now. Let's see what they do. Okay, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So now we do this. Counter the bridge, return the bridge to hand so they don't draw any cards, create a token, and draw a card. All right, so counter the bridge's ability. Return the ECD? Can they replay it? They can't. Yeah, any untapped land and they can. Oh, we have to return the bridge. That's right. Target a thing I control. Let's make another coil and let's draw. Do they have a negate? Don't have a negate. Don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. Yes! Yes! They only get 1 card because the only color they have now is white. They're still gonna get a Vorinclex, which I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do about that. It's very scary. I guess I just tap it. It's probably not as bad as I'm making it out to be. +1/+1 counter. So what do I have that gets counters? The tome gets counters. Okay. Here's Big Bad. If the opponent attacks, I can block, or I can just take it. And they can't replay the bridge, right? It's taxed, or that's only from command. Okay, they can play it again. Okay. Frustrating. Would you like to attack? Because I'll take it. So I can race you. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And they have no mana open? They're just dead. I think. I think they're just dead now. Roar. Woo! That's a good fight. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's the brawl I'm looking for. Kinnan, scary commander. Comes down early, makes a ton of mana. On the draw. On the draw. I don't know. I don't know if we can beat this. Hard to turn down Wolfwillow Haven Once Upon a Time and Negate, but might not matter. Really might not matter. We might hit a tap land, so I'm going to do this now. There is a Thornwood Falls. Command Tower can be better, but since we have nothing to do with turn 1, we'll just play this tap land and get this free point of life. The tiniest of advantages. Our opponent plays a Signet. Okay. Ramp into Koma. Let's go. Not a lot else. Like, I can't hope to contain a Kinnan deck, because it's going to make so much mana that my counter spells, it can play around them really easily. So Kinnan is here. Well, we could try to negate or saw it coming for a turn, right? And we do have a vision we can cast. Let's see if our opponent plays around what we do. Maybe they don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn they get to start using the ability to look at their top 5 and just cheat stuff out. So, spells you cast can't be countered. But this can be countered. That can be countered. That's at least something. Alright, the opponent did miss a land drop, so we might get away with another turn of countering spells. Let's try it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, still can't use the ability. Next turn they get to start putting non-human creatures directly onto the battlefield from the top of their deck. So, what's this? 2+1/+1 counters on it. What? Alright, I'm fighting it. Hold up, negate, I guess. Might matter. They're missing that land. It's giving us a chance. Pixie I can't counter. Yep, their mana starts to explode next turn. Let's see if they're ready for Koma. The rope comes out. Oops. Oh, that's how that works. Gojira. XL, nice. We're fighting elves, baby. No ramp, but how can I turn down Cosima Shark Typhoon for stealing my opponent's lands? I don't know if I'm capable of turning such a thing down. Sentinel, okay. We'll test their metal for the Omen Keel next turn, see how many creatures they can get on the battlefield. Little snow green and snow black. Elves are usually full of cheap creatures. They're attacking. Mass Vandal, nothing in the graveyard. Interesting, they just really wanted that on the field. The combo, the Shark Typhoon, crewing up the Omen Keel. Elves giving up board presence, not gonna happen. No land? Well, at least I don't have to worry about these cards anymore. Realm Walker. Naming elf. Shocking. And being aggressive. They don't care about the Omen Keel. Well, maybe they don't have lands in their deck. Tells me the top of their deck isn't that good, or they would have chump blocked to save it. We get a forest. Sure. Get to play this, hold up Negate. Might catch that Tyvar. As now we are, we're starting to focus in. We've got to ramp into this Ugin to clear the board, or get Koma down to protect. Yep. Let's not do that. So how tough is our opponent? Can they handle being countered? Will they play another turn? Yeah? They've got the beatdowns going. Do we need to stop attacking? No. No, the mental damage of the Omen Keel is too much for them. Untapped land or tap land? I think we play the untapped land. Now we could Bala Ged Recovery, get back Negate. The reason I don't like that is then the opponent won't try to play Tyvar, they'll just play more creatures. But maybe that's fine because then we play Koma. The other option is we can just Behold the Multiverse and see what we find. Which I think I like better. This open mana sometimes gives people pause. We could also Bala Ged Recovery Shark Typhoon, which doesn't do too much until next turn, which we want to Koma that turn anyway. Maybe getting back the Negate with the recovery was the right play just to protect our clock so the opponent can't de-ramp us by blowing it up. Maybe. Although next turn we have Castle Garenbrig and double blue. Yeah, next turn we're fine. Well, do you want to attack into my board? They do. Right? Behold the Verse. Epiphany. Lovely. That gets us to Ugin. So what do you guys think? Do we Ugin or do we Koma? This has Death Touch, so the Omen Keel is done fighting for a minute. I think we make them beat Koma? Brar? Heartless Act or something? We got their Soul Shatter. Soul Shatter might be an apt name for how they're feeling. It's a big snake. I've seen many elves in this limited format taken out by a big snake. The opponent makes a bunch of elves. All right. All right, it's on. Migration Path. Well, it's very easy to start out with an Epiphany, right? We can definitely do that. They can block and kill one of the snakes. This is an interesting spot. We can also throw the Omen Keel in there, but they'll probably kill it, which isn't great. Let's see how they react to this. They don't have Heartless Act. We would have already seen it. So I don't think I have to play around anything. I think I can let these go. Then I think I play Alrund's Epiphany. That's it. Okay. That'll kill off the Death Toucher, drop our opponent to 9. And now for the Heartbreaker. They had a plan, it all fell apart. Might as well trade it for an elf now. Just do as much damage to their board as we can. With a counter spell, we don't have to worry about the crackback, and if they go to 3, we can Ugin them for the win. The opponent says, I'll take it. Koma too strong. Poor elves. I wish they had more support in Kaldheim. I really, actually do. Fighting the bridge. A very slow hand, but it's on the play with really weird mana. And no green. And no green. Okay. I guess we're going to try to play Clock into Solemn, into Haven, into Koma. We do have an Into the Roil for the bridge. That's the only reason I kept the hand. I would have definitely thrown it away if not for that. Probably just drawing a card. Opponent did not play a Triome, so we'll see how their mana goes. Pathway into Pathway. Whoa, Finn! Oh, that's something. Does that mean I need to save this? So that we don't get poisoned out? Nah. Okay. I guess they could have artifact destruction, and it would be a big problem. Indestructible relic, non-indestructible clock. Opponent slams a Signet. They're threatening to bridge next turn. That is very bad for us because we need to get Koma down before the bridge. 2 poison acquired. Let's see, we could bounce the bridge, play the Koma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I guess that's the line. I wanted to play Solemn that turn, I really did. But we can't let them activate the bridge before we start activating Koma. Okay, doesn't look like they'll have the mana for it that turn. That's a big deal because on upkeep we could give up our Serpents to start tapping their stuff. Oh, they could have done it that turn and they just didn't. Giga Brain. No land in hand. They don't have a land. This is risky, but I think I can do it. Bouncing this could make a big difference since they don't have a land. Oh, didn't give me the stop. That's rough. Can they bridge though? They have double green, so they can't. They have 2 green sources on the board. They need the altar. No! Okay. Don't have a way to deal with that, unfortunately. And also letting this resolve gives away that we don't have a way to deal with the bridge because it's also an enchantment. No. To the command. Really? Okay. The Finn's interesting. It's a card you could hit off the bridge too, which makes it even more like, whoa. All right, so we want to set up enough mana for next turn to replay Koma. It's not too hard. We just need any 1 land source to do. So playing Solemn seems good, but we could also Behold and see what we hit, because we might find a counter that we want to play, and then playing Midnight Clock is good. Saw It Coming is a counter. I guess we can keep the untapped land. That still does it. So we can play Koma next turn. But now we can't play the clock because we wouldn't have enough for the Saw It Coming. We can still cycle Migration Path if they don't give us... Alright, they do. The fight continues. They need more land. I don't know what their land count is like, but they needs it. Alright, they did find another. Koma. Let's try this again. Bridge returns. Could have tried to tap down that turn. In hindsight, maybe I should have. I figured they'd just play another way to get rid of the Koma if I did that, but I guess not. Oh, wouldn't have worked. They had a land. Silundi Vision. Can we find another bounce spell? We already used Into the Roil. I guess we have Wilt in our deck. Go deep. Epiphany works. Epiphany works. Don't make a copy of your Koma, it's legendary. Bad things happen. Set back that bridge! Not taking the chance on it Uganing or something. Make him play it again. The biggest weakness of the bridge, you can time walk it. Will they draw another land? Should I use my Serpents to tap these? Or are they just gonna sweep the board anyway? I think we're going to make an aggressive play. We're going to make their colors awkward. All right, now they don't have double white. Green, green, blue, blue. They don't have the mana to get back Uro, although they're a ways away from that anyway. All right, no mana rocks. What can you do? Cultivate. Okay. Turns with Koma on the battlefield feel like a lifetime for opponents. I do have some landfall effects. Let's play the tower. Cycle. See what we find. More land. Attack. Now they have enough mana to do a lot of things. And they fix it just right, so tapping these probably doesn't matter. What did they fetch? White and red? We could tap 3 of them. Maybe that's right. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Solemn. Clock. I think we gotta make them solve the Koma problem with minimal resources where possible. So going Icy Manipulator for the old school Magic players as a reference on their lands, I think matters. It's their only red source. This is their only white. They fetch the red though. Let's go for the white since it has some board clears. Although none that bothers Koma. Let's go for the reds because they fetched it. Maybe like a Crowan War is an example of something that could be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They need an untapped land for Ugin. Ugin's a very brief setback too. I think we can replay Koma if they Ugin the board, plus we get to keep Solemn. Maybe a little tell from the opponent. Last upkeep, they did tap the mountain for red, or they tapped this for red, but they didn't tap the altar. Maybe they need that red. I don't know what for. I'm getting the full rope from the Asika player. I think they're used to their games being easier than this. Right, the timeouts are just about done. Clap for the Kaiju. Let's go, Koma. Let's go. Let's go, Koma. Let's go. All right. I'm just going to do this. They got no more time on their turn. They burned it all. They burned it all. That's a card. I'll take you. Haha. Dead. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and this was a fun one. I love a lot of things about Brawl right now, but I think what I love the most is when the heavy hitters show up, when I'm going up against another Esika deck, when I'm going up against like a Dimir control with an Ashiok, you know, the people who are prepared for the go big nonsense of Brawl. I don't mean to like rag on anybody, but I play against a lot of Heliod, and it's like we're just straight up trying to lifelink race you. There's probably a really good Heliod deck out there, but just putting in everything that gains life is probably not it. I don't know. Maybe I'll make that Heliod deck sometime because people seem to really love it. But every time I line up with it, I'm like, all right, we got this. But when I line up against somebody else playing Esika, and when I line up against other people playing mono blue like Thrix the Sudden Storm, there is a Nope Tribal Brawl video that actually has over 77,000 views that I made a while back with Thrix. I think people still enjoy that one. You know, I know that those are going to be rumbles, and Koma is ready to rumble because you can't counter Koma. So it's kind of this cat and mouse about all the things we do before we drop the Koma, and then if the opponent can deal with it. And it's very exciting. I enjoy those matchups, and this deck gets plenty of those. So I encourage you, if you like the go big or go home strategy, and you want to play the Cosmo Serpent, if you're into the Kaiju like I am, then please check out this deck, play it. It's really fun. I think you'll enjoy. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.